Hi guys, welcome along to another training session for the Electro-pneumatics. I'm on fluid sim. What we have is two double acting cylinders, A and B, already have them labelled with the A- and A+, at 0 position and 100 position for millimeters. Both of them are being controlled via 5-2 double solenoid valves, and obviously both have a compressed air supply at the minute. What I've done so far on the electrical side of things is I've set up a 24 volt and a 0 volt connection. I've got a push button, which is going to be my S1, which is going to be our start button, and I put that in series with what is the end part of the sequence. So our sequence is up above here in the text, in that it's A+, then B+, then A-, then B- to finish off. So similar to how you do the sequence for pneumatics, you also put whatever is at the end of the sequence in series with the start button. So we have the start button active or going through B-, which is currently closed only because B is in the minus position. It is a normally open contact, and this leads into the relay K1 that I've labelled down at the bottom. So to find a relay, use your search button. You've got relay, it's the fourth option down there. We have also on the right hand side here another 24 volt up the top and another 0 at the bottom. We have a MEC contact, so you can search for that, just MEKE, and go down to the second one there. So you get a MEC contact, you can insert and label it with whatever you so wish, for instance K2. I'm sure we'll be using that in a wee minute's time. Down the bottom then is the valve solenoid. So this here is the electrical component version of this sort of solenoid symbol here on the right. So we have to label these up, we've got 1M1, and then the other side will be 1M2. The first number corresponding to the valve, so valve number 1, M for electrical motion, and then we've got number 1 for extend, and then this is going to be 2 for retract. So we're going to have 1M1 to extend, 1M2 to retract. We'll label this other section up, it'll be 2M1, and then finally 2M2. And what we'll do is we'll make sure our valves are the same as well. So currently, as we have it set up, when we press our start button, and as long as B is in the minus position, K1 will activate, which will close K1 here, which will activate 1M1, which will then activate the valve, pushing the spool across, giving air from 1 and coming out of port 4 instead, and we'll extend the cylinder. So we'll just delete this out of our way, and we'll just prove the point of it. So if I activate this particular one, you can see that the supply, which goes red, goes through B-, activating K1. K1 over here closes, so this here is one of the contacts from the relay. A1, A2, they are the coil contacts of the particular relay, and then you've got a set of contacts, and in the software you're unlimited to the amount of K1s you can have. Within the actual the box that we have within D29, I think we're limited to four contacts from each relay, and I think there's 3 relays per box. So you can see obviously what's happened so far, and if I press stop, it returns back to its original position. I'm going to go ahead and build a little bit of it first of all, and then I'll come back and explain. So I've just added in 3 copies of the particular bit on the left here that was K1 and 1M1, so I've just copied it 3 times, placed it in, space these out a little bit nicer than they currently are. We'll connect these up to 24 volt up the top each time, and then the bottom down to 0 volt as well, and then we'll relabel them as we need and progress through. Okay, so we just need to get the sequence right going. So I'm going to build a little bit of the circuit and come back. So coming back, I've added in a normally open contact, which I've labelled A+, because that's the next thing we need to measure. So the first thing we've done was start button, when closed in series with B-, it activated K1. K1 will close over here, activating 1M1. 1M1 then activates the solenoid valve, which will give air out through port 4, extending cylinder A. When cylinder A is fully extended, then A+ sensor would activate, Then activating, this time we need to start changing values. So K2 this time. So activates K2. We then say that K2 over here will activate, and the next thing that should happen is B plus, which is 2M1. Okay, when B starts to extend, B plus will be activated, which will then activate K3. When K3 is activated over here, which is just the contact from K3 itself, the relay, the next thing should happen is A go minus. A minus is via 1M2. And then when A is in the minus position, it will activate K4. And K4 over here will make B go minus. B minus is 2M2. Okay, so just as a quick run through, you have your starting condition, which is just a momentary push button in our case, in series with whatever is at the end of your sequence, the sensor for that. So our sequence is A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. You have your standard mech contact for each of these. Now just watch that each of them are all normally open. It's just the B minus and A minus currently with the wee arrow symbol, just showing that they're currently activated is all. Each of them will control a relay in sequence of K1, K2, K3 and K4, and each one of those then contacts will then control indirectly 1M1, 2M1, 1M2 and then 2M2, which changes your sequence for you and control. So if I hit play on this one, you see that certain parts of it are already powered up and it's pushing 2M2, which is pushing B negative again. So if I press the button, you should be able to see it switching through. It puts A out and then B out. It's hard to witness the whole thing. Okay, so A out, B out, A come back in and then B come back in. We'll just slow it down slightly, just so we can see a little bit easier on the movement of the cylinders. So A plus, B plus, A minus and B minus. Okay, so that's your simple sequence to start off with. Okay, thank you.